Hi Poke fans, Harry here, and welcome to my breakdown of the 8th episode of the Aim to be a Pokemon Master series, the episode Getting to the Heart of It All. And this episode has something never before seen in the Pokemon anime, and it is insane and crazy. But before we get into the video, I just want to say big thank you. This is the first Pokemon video since this channel has hit 100 subscribers, so that is just amazing, and I can't wait to make more videos for more of you guys. And speaking of that, don't forget to subscribe, also leave a like and comment down below, and let's get into the video. So, the episode starts with Ash and the gang entering this new city, and Misty is excited about her new heart-shaped hair tie, and this is a reference to the episode Pokemon Fashion Flash, where she wore similar ones when Team Rocket were disguised as makeup artists and they were doing her makeup, and they used a couple of these heart-shaped hair ties on her. As well as this hair tie being similar to the Soul Badge, which is the Fuchsia Shirty gym badge that Koga and Janine give away. It just looks similar to her hair tie. And while the gang are entering this new town, we see that Brock's Croagunk is travelling outside its Pokeball. And of course, the first appearance of Brock's Croagunk in the Pokemon anime was in the episode Jambalaya, which was where Team Rocket were basically using this Croagunk and set up a fake gym so they could steal people's Pokemon. And its last major appearance was in the episode The Needs of the Fray, where Ash and the gang would try to defeat Team Galactic. And its last minor appearance was actually in the Aim to be a Pokemon Master series, which was the episode A Squad Worth of Passion, which Ash reunited with his Squirtle, and I actually did a breakdown of that episode, which I will link up in the cards above, so go check that out if you haven't already. And later, of course, we see Ash's returning Pokemon, which are Gengar and Dragonite. So Gengar's first appearance in the Pokemon anime was in the episode Best Friend ... Worst Nightmare, and this was when it was living in Professor Cereus's research lab, and it was kind of just waiting there because, unfortunately, as seen in the episode A Chilling Curse, it was revealed to have been abandoned by its previous trainer, and it was waiting in Professor Cereus's research center because it was built, because his research center was built where Gengar was told to wait by his previous trainer, with Gengar not realizing that he was being abandoned. And Gengar's last major appearance was in the episode A Flood of Torrential Gains, and this was the episode where it battled Leon's Inteleon and Mr. Rhyme, of course with Ash eventually beating Leon and becoming the Pokemon World Champion. And of course this ties in with Gengar's last minor appearance being in the episode Partners in Time, where it was celebrating with all of Ash's Pokemon when he finally did beat Leon. We also see Dragonite, who was another part of Ash's Galar team, and its first appearance in the Pokemon anime was as a Dragonair in the episode A Test of Paradise. And it later evolved into Dragonite in that episode, as well as joining Ash's team. And its last major appearance was in the episode Toying with Your Motions, where it battled against Leon's Dracopult and Rillaboom. And same to Gengar, its last minor appearance was in the episode Partners in Time, where it was celebrating with all of Ash's Galar Pokemon when Ash finally beat Leon, becoming the Pokemon World Champion. However, back to the actual episode, Ash and the gang suddenly hear a scream, and they see a bunch of people surrounding an Officer Jenny. Brock then, of course, starts flirting with her, which is a reference to his love for every Officer Jenny, and Brock later flirts as well with a Nurse Joy at the Pokemon Center they're staying at, and this is, of course, a reference to his love for every Nurse Joy, as he canonically has a thing for every Officer Jenny and Nurse Joy he meets. However, of course, Croagunk cuts Brock's flirting short by striking him with a poison jab, which is a reference to how he always used to do that to Brock whenever he started flirting with a woman, and Misty yanks on his ear, which is a reference to how she always used to do that when Brock was flirting with a woman. And this is also a reference to the episode A Squad Worth of Passion, which was also in this series aimed to be a Pokemon Master, when Krogunk and Misty did the same thing when he was flirting with another Officer Jenny. So obviously wanting to know what was going on, Ash asks Officer Jenny what's happening, what's going on, and she explains that there's a strange phenomena occurring in houses in the area lately. So of course, Ash offers his help and calls out Gengar to help them. And then the intro plays, and in the Pokemon section, it shows the rest of Ash's Unova team. As in the last episode, which I did a breakdown on, and I will link that up in the cards above, so check that out if you haven't already. It showed the first 4 Pokemon of Ash's team, the 3 Unova starters and Pheasant, and in this one, it shows the remainder of Ash's Unovan team. So first we see Crocodile from the episode Ash, Iris and Trip. Then there were Frey, where it evolved from Crocorock while battling Iris's Dragonite. Then we see Sawaddle, which is the pre-evolved form of Leavanny, in Sawaddle and Berg in Pinwheel Forest. And this is shortly after Ash had caught it. And it shows Ash saying hello to Sawaddle in the way that Sawaddles say hello to each other. And then we see Palpitoad in the episode facing fair with eyes wide open, and this is when it appeared to Ash, and Ash later caught it with the help of Oshawott. And then we see Boldore in the episode battling the King of Mines, and this is Ash and Boldore celebrating after beating Clay's Excadrill and Ash getting his 5th gym badge. And last but not least, we see Scraggy in the episode Scraggy hatched to be wild, and this is shortly after it hatched from its egg, of course giving that episode its title. However, back to this episode, the gang and Officer Jenny split up to search the house that has had this strange phenomenon rumoured to be happening inside it, and Misty searches the house with Officer Jenny, and they enter the bathroom and Misty sees a ghost. And the ghost appears the same as the ghost sprite from Generation 1 in the Pokemon Tower, of course, where we had to get the Silph Scope, and it was revealed that this ghost is Marowak. However, it then disappears from the bathroom, and we see Ash and Brock find this shadowy ghost again. However, in this shadowy form, it has gone from the Generation 1 ghost sprite to a form that is clearly a bayonet. And Brock is the one that realises that this is a bayonet and explains it to Ash and the others. The gang and Officer Jenny then pop from house to house, following Bayonet as it barges into everyone's house. And Officer Jenny tells the gang that Bayonet has stolen heart-shaped items from all of the houses. However, we then switch to Bayonet's point of view, and it's carrying its stash of heart-shaped items to an abandoned house, and we see lots of other stolen heart-shaped items. However, Bayonet seems unhappy with all of these heart-shaped items, and we learn later it is because Bayonet's previous owner gave it a heart-shaped hair tie when it was a doll. And shortly after seeing this, the gang hear Bayonet's Pokedex entry, which states that it is an abandoned doll that has turned into a Pokemon, which is exactly what has happened to this Bayonet, and we'll have more on that later in this video. And the gang want to continue their search for Bayonet, however they are hungry, so they have a meal in the Pokemon Center they are staying at, and when they exit, they immediately come across the Bayonet. And Bayonet is holding a photo that we saw earlier that had it as a doll with its previous owner. However, the photo it is holding gets snatched out of its hand by a gust of wind, and it floats down to Brock. And Bayonet jumps down to attack Brock, but just before it does, it changes to attack Misty as it sees her heart-shaped hair tie. Of course, Bayonet is after heart-shaped things, especially a hair tie, as that is what its previous owner gave it, and that is what it is searching for. And Brock figures this out by looking at the photo and tells the rest of the gang that Bayonet is the doll in the picture, and its owner gave it a heart-shaped hair tie. Of course, that's why it's taking heart-shaped things. And then we see Bayonet's backstory. So first we see a little girl, which was its previous owner, playing with it as a doll, and then its owner making it a heart-shaped hair tie, then it being abandoned by the moving people, accidentally leaving it behind. Then we see the house become dilapidated before the doll turns into a Bayonet, which is the first time the anime has shown a doll transforming into a Bayonet, which is a bit shocking. So, kids, if you're watching, don't throw away your toys. Don't push them away. Keep them. Play with them. Teenagers, adults, it's too late for you. Teenagers, you might find a Bayonet suddenly out to hunt you. Don't worry. No need to be afraid. This episode does have a happy ending, although an abandoned doll transforming into a ghost is a bit dark, especially for the Pokemon anime. However, Bayonet's backstory isn't over yet. We see Bayonet try to find its previous owner and being shocked that it has turned into a Pokemon. And then we see it trying to find its heart-shaped hair tie, of course that its previous owner gave it. And upon finding the heart-shaped hair tie, it is really happy until it crumbles to dust in its hands, which is kind of heartbreaking when you watch this. However, with us seeing Bayonet's backstory out of the way, it is the next morning, and the gang start looking for Bayonet again, only to come across this abandoned house, where they find all the heart-shaped stuff that Bayonet has taken. Of course, this is the abandoned house that Bayonet is staying in. And of course, Ash calls to Bayonet that they have its photo that they want to give back to it, to which Bayonet appears, and then Ash gives Bayonet Misty's heart-shaped hair tie, which she said she was more than happy to give away to Bayonet. And the gang say that they want to go one step further and help Bayonet find its previous owner. However, it is quickly revealed Bayonet can't remember what the little girl looks like. And with the photo of course, the little girl with the doll that eventually becomes Bayonet having eroded over time, the gang doesn't know what she looks like, as the photo of the little girl, her face, has been eroded, so they don't know what she looks like. However, Misty then realises the photo was taken at the abandoned house, when it wasn't abandoned, so the little girl is grown up now, and after a full day of them searching every girl and woman in the city, if the girl in the photo is them, they come up blank, and so Bayonet flies away defeated. So the gang decide to head back to the Pokemon Center and pick up their search tomorrow. However, Gengar, knowing something is up with Bayonet, decides to follow Bayonet and comforts her when he eventually finds her. And because Gengar was abandoned by its original trainer, he knows what Bayonet is going through. However, Bayonet has decided to take the train to another city to search for its owner, as Misty mentioned that the little girl could have moved away to another city. And all of this is unfolding as Ash and the gang return to the Pokemon Center. However, Ash and Misty notice something is bugging Brock, and it has been since he saw Bayonet's old photo. And as Nurse Joy welcomes them, Brock realises Nurse Joy is the little girl from the photo. But this makes a lot of sense that Brock figures this out, as he knows lots about every Nurse Joy as we've seen in various episodes of the Pokemon anime. And with this revelation, Ash rushes out and meets Gengar, saying he found the little girl and that where's Bayonet. But Gengar tells Ash that Bayonet caught the train out of this city. So with time of the essence, and them having to get to Bayonet before she gets out of the city, Ash calls out Dragonite, and Ash and Pikachu get on Dragonite while he follows Gengar, who leads the way to Bayonet. And this all unfolds whilst Nurse Joy confirms to Brock and Misty that she is the little girl in the photo. And of course, with it being the Pokemon anime, Ash, Pikachu, Gengar and Dragonite managed to catch up with Bayonet. and Ash tells Baynet that they found the little girl, prompting Baynet to hop on Dragonite and for them to head back to the Pokemon Center. And then there's a heartfelt reunion between Nurse Joy and Baynet. And Nurse Joy apologises to Baynet for leaving her behind. And it's just a really heartfelt moment. And then the camera pans up and we see that Latias has been watching all of this unfold in its invisible form, like it has in every previous episode in this series. And then in the next morning, it is revealed that Baynet has become Nurse Joy's Pokemon Center assistant, so they can be together all the time. And don't worry, Nurse Joy is keeping her Chansey assistant, but Baynet is just working with Nurse Joy as well. And it's a really heartfelt moment as, well, they can just be together the whole time, and Nurse Joy will never leave Baynet behind again. And as this episode draws to a close, loads of women are walking past Ash and the gang, and Brock is about to flirt with them. However, Krogunk and Misty see this and poison jab and pull his ear respectively, just like they did with him when he was flirting with the Officer Jenny and Nurse Joy earlier in this episode, and of course like they have done many times before in prior episodes. And then the outro plays, and it is the original Japanese outro. And then we see a sneak peek of the next episode, and the music is slightly different, as the next episode seems to be all about Team Rocket. Now, I thought this episode was amazing. There were some dark parts, like a doll, an abandoned doll being turned into a Baynet. Of course, we've known that since Baynet's conception, of course, because we've seen its Pokedex entries. Many of its Pokedex entries state it is a doll. But I never thought the anime would confirm this or actually have this as a Pokemon episode. However, it turned out to be really heartfelt in the end, and I think this episode was amazing. But that is just my thoughts. Let me know down in the comments below what you thought of this episode, and also, if you like this video, don't forget to leave a like, also subscribe, and share it out, and I will see you in the next one.